Alright. Is this working? I don't know. Here I am. Alright, I still have a few more self-promos. To, go through. Alright, I think that's it. It's Umineko time. Open the door. And we're here with the butler guy, who I don't remember the name of, but it's probably this in here. I remember. Goda. His name is Goda. He just got introduced to canon. I don't know why it always goes back. Why does it shatter glass? Like, why does it do that? Whatever.
Kanan-san, could you perhaps be a little more courteous? A smiling face is also part of a servant's duty.
My apologies. I shall make an effort.
You did the wrong one to make me do... Goda-san, Kanan-kun is trying his best, yes?
It looked like he was often warned about being unsociable, and apparently he hadn't improved one bit. Goda-san kept his business smile, but let a small sigh of resignation escape. Well then, I still have work to do, if you'll excuse me. It looked like Kanan himself was uncomfortable with remaining silent here any longer. After another perfunctory bow, okay? I don't know what that means, but sure. He turned around and started pushing the wheelbarrow again. Just then, the wheelbarrow suddenly wobbled and fell, scattering the load. I guess the wheelbarrow's single wheel got caught on a pebble and lost its balance. Uh-oh. He messed up. Gotta be here. To make sure that it's working, I need to be on the Twitch page. Alright.
What do you think you're doing? Now, clean it up quickly!
I faded into existence just now. Why did he do that? Why did he do that? Nobody else has done that yet. Okay. Goda-san urged him to hurry in a quiet voice, as though hinting that it was shameful for a servant to appear clumsy in front of guests. Kanan-kun wordlessly reloaded the wheelbarrow with the fallen objects, as if to say that he understood quite well without being told. He seemed to be fine with the light-looking gardening tools, shovels and such, but he looked like he was having trouble getting his arms around and lifting up some sacks of fertilizer. Are you okay? You're so careless. Here. Don't know which one says that. I love when frickin' there's no, like, names in front, so I have no clue which person says that. I think he changed his sprite, but I don't remember. Whatever. I'll just say it in his voice. Milady, you will dirty your garments. Please, leave this to us. Oh, that's Goda, I guess. Whatever. With a smooth motion, Goda-san took the shovel that Jessica had picked up. Behind him, Kanan-kun was having trouble with the sacks of fertilizer. Back to the girl.
Ooh, you'll dirty your garments?
Don't worry, the ones I'm wearing aren't that expensive. Besides, I hate guys who just sit there and make the waitress pick up the fork they dropped at a restaurant. I lifted up the other bags that had fallen. Of course, they weren't light, but for me it was a piece of cake because my arms are rippling with muscles, as you can clearly tell. See, look, they're at least twice the width of his. Kanan-kun looked at me, surprised. It was the face of someone who never expected to receive help from a guest. Battler-sama, don't worry about it. I will take care of everything, so... Don't you worry. I may not look it, but I've got it where it counts. Since Kanan-kun looked like he hadn't yet gone through his growth spurt, he was stuck with a sort of weak body. This kind of weight might have been too much for him.
It's quite heavy. It's natural that it would be difficult for you. Don't worry about it, Kanan-kun.
Okay, my time to shine. This makes up for the boat stuff from before, right? Ha! As if this could make up for freaking out like that. Ha! Later, I'll tell you about it too, Kanan-kun. Battler was totally hilarious. Gonna fall! Fall! Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, that was the plane, not the boat! As they did this, I piled all the stuff back into the wheelbarrow. I beg your forgiveness for letting you witness such unsightliness.
Come now, that's quite enough. Please go.
Letting the guests... See, oh, why isn't there quotation marks? That sounds like he would be saying that.
Letting the guests, who are supposed to feel welcome, see such a disgraceful thing.
Oh, wait, no, this is still a Battler's thing, because whatever. Must have been hideously embarrassing for a servant. Pressed by Goda to hurry up and go, Kanan-kun left. See, this is what I mean. There's literally zero indication that the character is saying a thing. I don't know you. I mean, I know you, but also I don't know your voice. It really doesn't matter. You're too harsh on him, Goda-san. Shouldn't you have helped him instead of being a bully?
That was wrong of me. I deeply implore your forgiveness.
Without even a twitch in his smile, Goda-san apologized elegantly.
Kanan-kun has a ton of things he's good at too. It's just that being young works against him all the time. It's a crying shame.
Well, it's a prickly age. Let's just leave him be. After all, closed-mouthed servants are the best kind. Isn't that right, Kubasama-san? Oh, Rudolph-sama, you truly are harsh. There is no servant as silent as me, of course. Everyone smiled wryly at that obvious lie. Even she herself didn't believe that, not in her wildest dreams. So she must have said it to lighten the mood. Yeah, that's the kind of character Kumasama Bachan used to be. The one stiff atmosphere had cleared up at once thanks to your cheerful smile. I'd like to set down our luggage soon. Goda-san, what rooms are we all going to take?
It shall be the same as the previous year. Allow me to guide you. Please, this way.
We headed toward the trim, elegantly simple guest house. This was going to be our temporary quarters for the night. Still, oh, whoop. No. Nothing yet. Kanan watched over a hedge as the guests all entered the guest house. Then he let his eyes fall on those heavy sacks of fertilizer piled up in the wheelbarrow. In his mind, he kept going over his previous mistake. Battler, big and... Why is he narrating this all of a sudden? As if it's freaking past tense now. Who has a motorbike out there? Battler, big and strong, had picked up the sacks in front of him. The sacks Kanan couldn't lift himself, as if they were feathers. It would be extremely difficult for an outside observer to guess what emotions that favor had stirred up in Kanan. Oh god, he's gay now! But as far as he could tell by watching him hang his head, there was something that he just couldn't let go of. Muttered words escaped his lips, but those words he murmured were so soft that they didn't even reach his own ears. He could still hear them because that's how sound travels inside your head. That's why the voice sounds different inside your head. I sound so much different in my head than I do in recordings. It's actually so strange. Like, I wish there was somebody. I wish I knew somebody who kind of sounded how I sound in my own head. Like, I wish there is somebody who sounds like I sound in my own head. Just so that I could, like, point to them and say, hey, this person sounds like I do, but in my head. That would be kind of cool, I think. Anyway, he's saying stuff. Even I. Kanan hung his head, slightly biting his lower lip. Just even I. Okay. Why is the roof covered in snow? Wow, we're finally inside the house. It took how freaking long? My god. I remember the Rose Garden, but I don't remember this guest house at all. Was it built recently? Tarayan, Visitor's Retreat, was written on a gatepost-like thing, but since everyone called it the guest house, I followed their lead. The brand new Western-style guest house, which stood overlooking the roses, had a magnificent design carefully done in harmony with the garden. Correct. It was built the year before last. Ever since then, they've had a sleepover here. This place is more fun than that junky old mansion you knew. I wish my room was over here. Ew! I want a room here too! I want one! I guess you could say my own house was upper class, but to me it felt completely ordinary compared to the head family. The display of wealth was shocking, as was the fact that they built this kind of awesome guest house for guests who came over only a few times a year. Iva-sama, Hideyoshi-sama, please do make use of this room. Rudolph-sama, Carrie-sama, please take this room here. I already forgot your voice and I voiced you not that long ago. It doesn't even matter. I mean, it's not going even to voice you, I guess. I really do love how beautiful and elegant this place is. Western-style architecture truly is wonderful. I can handle Western design for a few days, but any longer than that and you need the good old Japanese look. Japanese people just relax best on tatami mats. They've been fighting over whether to make our new house Japanese style or Western style. Mom still holds a grudge about Dad having the construction started with a Japanese layout, and they bicker all the time about it. I'm really jealous, George Nissan. Your parents get along well, don't they? Mine are so frosty. Then again, they're also, like, frozen in the middle of the Antarctic wasteland. So... Then again, they're always in sync when it comes to my grades. All the rooms seem to be for 2 people. I was grateful since I wasn't going to be forced to share the same room with the old bastard under the pretext that we were family. And anyway, I figured those 2 wouldn't be able to enjoy themselves with someone like me around. Ee-hee-hee. What's with that creepy smile? You're thinking about something dirty, aren't you? I love how there was zero work done to the localization of this game. But also, I don't love it at the same time because it's really awkward. Something dirty? Of course not! Please enjoy your stay. Ow! That hurts, you old bastard. Once again, Dad pulled my ears from behind. Cut the crap. I'm getting a stomach ache and I'm not in the mood for this. You're the guest of honor this time around, so play nice as possible with Dad and Aniki and the rest. At the very least, be careful of what you say in front of Dad. Got it? Because wisecracks don't go too well with him. Jessica-chan, what's the head's mood been like lately? Same as last year, I guess. Considering they say he's got 3 months left to live, he's as lively, grumpy, and irritable as ever. Meaning this year he's in his usual bad mood. And as usual, the only one who's able to look after him is Genji-san. It seems the master will open his heart to no one else. Lately, us small people have not even been granted an audience with him. He shut himself up in his study again, probably doing nothing but that weird black magic of his. What he does for a hobby is his own damn business, but when he starts stinking up the house, it really gets on my nerves. I wish he'd never come out of that study again. That was not natural whatsoever. You shouldn't talk like that about the elderly. We're all indebted to him since he rebuilt the Ushiromiya family. We should be more grateful. Well, sorry. After being rebuked by George Aniki, Jessica had no choice but to take back her thoughtless remark. Now we get to look at this light bulb. Wow, it looks like the Snapchat ghost. The Ushiromiya family was wealthy beyond belief. They even had Snapchat. They bought out Snapchat and turned it into a lamp. But of course, that meant all its members were a bit strange and completely out of touch with the world at large. And at the top of the chain, the family head, our grandfather, seemed especially strange and terrifying even for our family. Dad said he was getting a stomachache earlier, and I imagine that reflected the honest feelings of all the adults here today. No doubt they were jealous of us grandchildren, who could just play around and laugh without a care. From the stories Dad told me, the family head was a violent man who ruled with his fists, beating his children, even his daughters, mercilessly with a wooden sword. Luckily, he never made a wooden pickaxe to gather some stone so that he could make a stone sword. If he was so strict and uptight about that, why couldn't he have been a little more conservative with his kids' names? Because of that, even us grandkids had to suffer. Anyway, I can't say I have any trouble believing those terrifying stories about him. I don't remember meeting him very often, but I think I recall him looking extremely grumpy all the time, always making people cower with that sharp gaze of his. I remember that the room's atmosphere got so tense whenever he was around, you couldn't even breathe. What my dad said about me being the guest of honor now carries a little more oomph for me. 6 years ago, I was in an elementary school, but I'm a high schooler now. Okay. If I act up, things could get serious. Ooh, scary. He does look frightening, but he's not so terrifying that you need to tense up like that. Nothing of what he says is truly unreasonable. He may be clumsy at talking, but he's a very logical person. But, George Nissan, you've been the family darling since like forever because of your awesome grades, right? Grandfather treats us completely different. I've even got slapped with a wooden sword. On my ass! My ass! on my maidenly innocent ass.
Well, you're the heiress of the head family, Jessica-chan. Grandfather is giving you special attention. You've got to realize that his strictness reflects his high hopes for you.
Wow. Child abuse. Man, I sure do love when spanking was normalized. JK, I hate it. What the frick? Why is there? Might need to get more water. That's how much I've been drinking. Oh, come on. Seriously, I could just turn the succession over to you, George Nissan. It's a bit of a It's a bit of a heavy burden for me to carry. I think I already said it before, but Jessica's the girl heir to the head family. Why is it so on? No, that's normal. I could turn it down a little bit. Whatever. We're only cousins in branch families, but so she probably feels a totally different sort of pressure than we do. Oh, Jessica Oni-chan. So not Oni, I need to remember that it's One in Japanese. One-chan, is that heavy? If I help hold it, will it get lighter? Thanks. It's okay. I'm not gonna push it on you, Maria. I'm gonna bear this cross until my grave. Don't worry. She was grateful for Maria's innocent concern, but Jessica's face still seemed to contain some of the uneasiness she felt towards the future. Maybe we were in the same boat. Any high schooler with exams approaching would have trouble hiding their anxiety for the future. Maria, come here. You and I will be in this room.
Butler-kun, I heard you're going to be with me in this room here.
Wow! The chairs are blue and the cabinet is red. Oh, now there's a surprise. It's bigger than our parents' room, dang! Well, I figured we cousins would all want to hang out together, so I told them to get a bigger room ready. Ooh, I like it here more too. I'd rather be here than with Mama. Ooh, ooh. Oh, you like it here better here too, Maria? Okay, this room is George's and mine, but we'll give you special permission to come in. Better keep it a secret from your mom, okay? Ooh, it's a secret. Aunt Rosa was right behind us, but Maria still answered, striking the air with her fists clenched tight. Come on. After setting down their luggage in their rooms, our parents had gathered again in the corridor.
Hey, what are you brats planning to do? Are you cousins just gonna stay here and chat?
It seemed they were heading to the mansion to announce their arrival. Normally they would make us follow them and greet everyone together, but if that had been the case, Dad would have just told us to come and that'd be the end of it. He's saying it's okay if we don't come, so what'll we do?
Well, it's gonna be lunchtime before long anyway. Better let the kids unwind here. Besides, if worst comes to worst, this might be their last chance to play outdoors. Oh yeah, because of the storm. I forgot about that plot point. I thought, what? Were you gonna kill me?
Ew! I'll go too! Maria, you house sit for Mama, okay? Behave yourself and wait here. Ew. Since Maria was being told to house sit here, we certainly couldn't leave her on her own. George Anakian noticed this immediately and gave a clear reply for all us cousins.
Well then, we'll accept your offer and house sit. We've got lots of stories to tell each other after being away for a year.
That sounds wonderful. And Butler-kun has 6 years worth of stories to tell, doesn't he? Yeah. I got this one story. I got this one story involving tofu. You would not believe. I'll take care of the house like a good boy. Kumasawa-san, I'm gonna stay here too. We'll break rank and leave the rest to the adults. Perhaps that would be best. I'll report it to Madame. Why did I say it French-like? Then allow me to guide you all to the mansion. This way, please. The other children are one thing, but George is getting to be an adult. Wouldn't it be better if he came with us?
If we make him come, then poor George will be the only one out of place. Interacting with his cousins is also important. Okay, see y'all later. Why was the apostrophe there? Why was the apostrophe in the middle of y'all? What? That's not how it goes. That's not where you put y'all. That's not where you put the apostrophe. That is not where you put the apostrophe. You don't do that. You do this.
The adults left one after the other. They left in the same formation as our trip from the harbor, with Goda-san leading and Kumasawa-san taking up the rear. As we gathered in the room assigned to us cousins, George Aniki asked us to excuse him for a second. He rushed over to Kumasawa-san, who was following behind the disappearing adults, and seemed to ask her something. He soon finished his business and came back. What's up, Aniki?
Nothing. I just wanted to ask her something.
Oh, tell me too! Tell me too! What could George Nissan be asking Kumasawa-san and not me, I wonder? I don't have a clue.
No, it's a misunderstanding. Not that I know what you're misunderstanding.
Aniki was getting pretty tongue-tied. It was almost as though he felt guilty about something, and Jessica knew exactly what he was worried about. At any rate, it's no fun if Jessica gets to know about it and not me. Hey, Maria, it looks like we're the only two out of the loop, right? Don't you want to know what they're talking about? Ooh, we want to know too! We want to know too! Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh wait, no, is that supposed to be me? I don't know. I fooled around while oohing together with Maria.
No, I'm telling you, it's no big deal.
Liar! I'm surprised you'd tell such a terrible lie, Aniki. Confess! Maria, you tickle his right side, I'll tickle his left. Ooh! I've got his right side, Bedlo's got his left! Ooh!
Wait a second! Wait, you too! Stop!
What is that even supposed to be? Oh, that's part of the lamp. That's part of the Snapchat lamp, except they even rebranded Chatnap. Yes, cool. That's exactly how that is pronounced. Chat snapped. Marie and I played around, chasing George Aniki as he tried to escape, rolling on the bed. I realize high schoolers aren't supposed to bounce around like kittens, but I still miss this kind of fun. A warm, cozy kind of fun. Why did I say like that? George Nissan, what were you asking Kumasawa-san? Well, I've got a good guess. It's been a year since the last time he visited the head family. Who knows what servants might have come and gone during that time. Either way, it looks like he'd like to go and say hi. Ooh? Say hi? I want to say hi too. I wanted to say, yeah, that's how that works. What the hell? That's nothing to feel guilty about, Aniki. I'm not buying it. Maria, don't be fooled. Aniki's still hiding something. More torture! Maria!
Stop it! Seriously! Maria-chan, you stop! You too! Stop already! No.
She's probably busy cleaning or getting lunch ready. Don't worry, she'll drop by to say hi sooner or later. I'll bet you'd rather have been welcomed in by Shannon instead of that nosy Goda. Shannon? Shannon. Ah, yeah, I remember a girl with that name. She's still a servant? How's she doing?
Go to the building. Going through the building. By the way, Natsui Nate-san, frick. I never remember that it's Nay because it would be pronounced Ni in English. By the way, Natsui Nate, frick. So, how's your headache been lately? It seemed pretty serious before. Who are you? This is just... They just put Kairi's boobs here again. They didn't even change it. This is just Kairi's boobs. I know those boobs from anywhere. They had the boobs larger than her frickin' torso waistline. Why?
Can I, Yeah, I can look at... So she got, like, this weird, like, hair stuff going on. Freaking, like, wavy hair, but also mom hair at the same time. What kind of voice do you even give? I don't even care. Honestly. I haven't cared in a while about the women. Because I can't voice the women. I have been much better lately. Thank you for your concern. Oh, right. Here, a present for you, Natsuine-san. Thank you very much. I'm always receiving gifts from you. Is this black tea? It's herb tea with peppermint and lemon balm. It's a blend from a well-known store, and it's supposed to be good for headaches. I thought it might help you, too. Rosa was always a conscientious woman. Probably because she was the youngest of four and much younger than the other three, she managed to grow up without gaining the venomous nature of her siblings. Her kind words got to Natsuki to soften her expression for just a moment, but it wasn't enough to melt her stony gaze, hardened as it was by years of long years of mental Jesus Christ. We're getting into therapy territory already, and she said one word. Come to think of it, you're always complaining about those headaches. Pull yourself together, Jessica. Jessica-chan has her exams this year, right? That's going to be a turning point in her life. Will she really be able to rely on you as a mother if you're like that? Besides, Natsuine-san, you're 3 years younger than me. You should get your act together. I apologize. I've had a tendency for headaches all my life. Even under normal circumstances, Eva sometimes failed to choose her words carefully, but her comments aimed at Natsuki contained shards of obvious malice, though she hid it with a smile. Of course, that fact didn't escape Natsuki. She frantically contained her urge to grimace and pretended to ignore Eva. Our Battler-kun will have his exams this year, too. Rudolph-san, shouldn't you be a little concerned as well? For the sake of your own son, you'd better get serious to the point of having headaches like Natsuine-chan. How did I get a chan in there? If I say anything, he automatically rebels. So what should I say? Should I say the opposite, that it's okay for him to mess around? That's probably the only way I could get him to listen to me. Hideyoshi Nisan,
George did really well on his exams, right? Please, you've got to teach me the trick to handling children. Well, it's probably because I got him to understand why he should study. Study isn't worth anything on its own. That's right. The real point of studying is to practice researching and stuff on your own whenever you bump into something you don't know. If you can't do that, you can't be useful to society. I'm not talking about math or writing. You gotta learn how to learn.
That's splendid. I wish our Jessica could understand that as well. If she is to be the heiress of the Oshormia family, then at this rate... Do you really have to force her into becoming the successor? After all, a woman has to find a woman's happiness. Parents shouldn't force such things on their children, don't you think?
Hold your horses, Eva. Each family has its own way of raising their kids. You shouldn't be pushy.
I'm sorry, Natsu Nathan. Don't take it the wrong way.
Wow! It's the dining table.
Though the light shining in through the windows was quite warm despite the cloudy weather, there was a dark mood about the room, which was probably causing headaches for more than just Natsuhi. As if to sweep away that mood, Kairi brightly made a suggestion to all present. Still, this black tea has a really lovely aroma. Let's drink it right away. In Japan, surely you couldn't find something like Leopold's black tea anywhere but Ginza, right? I see you know a lot about it, Kiri-ne-san. I guess it was worth the going to the trouble of buying it. Kairi and Rosa stood up from their seats and made as if to prepare the black tea, but Natsuhi forestalled them. I thank you both, but we can try that later. One of our people will soon be coming to bring some tea, so please relax.
Leave it for later, you two. Let's enjoy our welcome drink.
Rudolph gave a subtle signal with his eyes for them to sit down again. Kairi and Rosa understood instantly and obediently returned to their seats. The initial greeting of the guests was complete, so it was time for them to be served some tea. It was embarrassing for the host that the tea was late, especially now that the guests were talking about making tea themselves. Natsuhi bit her lower lip, frustrated by the ineptitude of the servants who were late bringing in the tea. Seeing her face, Eva immediately started to giggle. Of course, Shannon had no way of knowing what was taking place in the parlor. She came pushing a serving cart piled with teacups. For no apparent reason, Natsuhi gave her a pained look, and Shannon couldn't help but flinch without knowing what she had done.
Jesus, why does everybody have, boobs bigger than their face? Why?
Those boobs are so big you can use them as car wheels. Excuse me, your tea is ready. Why am I giving her this voice? I don't know. What is this voice? I don't care.
Oh, Shannon-chan, it's been a while. You keep getting prettier every time I see you. It's because your boobs keep inflating one size each year. One whole D&D size.
Oh, thanks. Save the chatting for after you've set the table. The tea will get cold. I apologize, madam. She apologized like a small frightened animal, bumped against the serving cart, and made a jarring racket as she dropped several teaspoons. Her clumsiness made Natsuhi's expression turn even darker, which made Shannon quail even more. Come on, Natsuhi-san. There's nothing wrong with her exchanging a few words in greeting. The tea must be plenty of cold already, considering how long we've been kept waiting. There's no need to worry. It's not cold yet. Shannon, finish setting the table. Quickly. I'm sorry, madam. Natsui's irritation was obvious by now. The ineptitude that delayed the tea, the clumsiness of the servant. Everything pointed to the incompetence of Natsui's everyday leadership, making her lose face. As the person in charge of the Ushirimiya head family's kitchen, allowing that clumsiness to be exposed today of all days was surely nothing less than total humiliation.
Lay off, Natsuhi-ne-san. Don't you think it's a little harsh to bully Shannon-chan when she's trying her best?
I'm not bullying anyone. What a nice aroma. May I ask what brand this is? I'm terribly sorry. I'll find out for you later. Kairi was trying to be nice, hoping to cut through the tense mood. However, Shannon had embarrassed herself instead, darkening Natsuhi's face and the room's mood. By this point, Eva was audibly giggling. What's this? Shannon-chan, don't you even know what you're pouring us? Come now, you mustn't serve something so suspicious to guests. We'll need a silver spoon at the very least before we can drink this. I'm sorry. I'll go get one immediately. Shannon-chan, do you know what silver spoons are used for? They have to be silver. Do you know why?
Oh, I know why. I watched Dr. Stone recently. I know why it has to be silver.
No. A teasing smile rose to Eva's face as she stared at Shannon setting the table. By itself, Eva's expression was sweet in an impish sort of way. However, the words being spun from her lips held the keenness of a razor within them. Shannon tried with all her might to avoid Eva's continuing gaze. Realizing that Shannon was hard-pressed for an answer, Rosa gave some timely help. They say that if silver is touched by poison, it darkens. Guess you've learned something today, Shannon-chan.
Oh, jeez. Ow.
They were acting as though this tea needed to be tested for poison before it could be drunk. In Natsui's eyes, this was an insult both to the tea and to herself for serving it. Rudolph laughed flippantly and patted Eva's shoulder.
Silver cutlery wouldn't do any good for you, Aneki. Just one lick of your poisonous tongue and even a silver plate would turn pitch black. Since I get to hear that poison tongue every day, I must be poison-proof myself by now. Eva, I don't mind when you use it on me, but you'd better hold back when talking to people who haven't built up a resistance.
My, how cruel. All I did was teach Shannon-chan a bit about tea, didn't I? Everyone followed the lead set by Hideyoshi's horse laugh and chuckled, though not easily. Only Natsuhi didn't join in. But for the time being, the conversation inside the parlor could now be mistaken for a lively and friendly chat. As Shannon finally finished setting the tea table and tried to leave, Kairi apologized to her in the low voice for not being able to help. Shannon gave a light bow and made a hasty retreat. Shannon cast her eyes downwards as she pushed the cart down the corridor. Anyone seeing the pitiful way she looked might easily conclude that she'd been bullied in some way. Oh, hello, Conan. Don't be sad. You didn't do anything wrong, Ne-san. You were watching. That is my role. Madame and Eva-sama can go to hell. But the worst coward is that guy. Conan glared hatefully in the opposite direction of the parlor. The preparations for the tea had been delayed by some trifling problems in the kitchen. These problems were not Shannon's fault. In fact, it had been Goda's mistake. After all, there was no way a show-off like Goda would give up a flashy job like bringing in tea when the guests arrived. He had ended up wasting time preparing the tea once again, so when he realized he wouldn't be able to score any points for this job, he pushed the task of setting the table on Shonen, who happened to be passing by. You might call it a clever move on his part, but could be no doubt that it was a cowardly one. It's okay, Kanen-kun. We switched places. Thanks. I'm not bothered by it at all. Kanen's silence vividly expressed the distance between Shannon's words and how she actually felt. Thank you. Even if you're the only one who understands, I feel a bit better. You keep your feelings too bottled up, Nei-san. You should be less hard on yourself for once. Yeah. Thanks. Suddenly they both felt someone's presence and whirled around. Ugh, it's the guy! He has a perfectly round head. A middle-aged man stood there. It was Genji, the head servant. What are you doing there? Shonen, hurry back to the kitchen. Yes, if you'll excuse me. Shannon humbly obeyed and promptly made to push the cart and leave. However, Kamen appealed to Genji in silence, bearing something in his eyes that he could not express in words. I don't know who is talking here. What is it? Did something happen? Shannon didn't do anything wrong. But even so, they... Stop it, Kanen-kun. Please, excuse me. I'll return to work immediately. Kanen-kun, you should go back to your post too. Please. If you say so, Nei-san. If that is all, then go. Yes. If you'll excuse me. And then he disappeared out of existence immediately. He can both apparate, slowly fading in, and just like delete. Get deleted out of existence. From the shadows in the hallway, an old woman wearing an apron watched over them. It was Kumasawa. Oh, good. I was hoping it wasn't somebody that we don't know yet. Poor Shannon-san. Kanen-san. There's no reason for those two to be picked on. Still, Goda-san's dislike for them is an undeniable fact. Until Goda-san was taken in by the Ushimiya head family, I hear he worked for a fabulous hotel somewhere. The manner of work he learned there was quite impressive, I believe. It's just that Goda-san is the newest servant here. He must have a lot of pride accumulated from his previous positions. Because Shannon-san and Kanen-kun are his seniors here at the mansion, and yet are experienced and have gone through much less in life than he has, he picks on them at every chance he gets. And also, sad as it may be, they are disliked by Madame Natsuhi too. Of course, if we're talking about experience, the Madame has been in this family much longer. And yet, this is one point where I cannot help but sympathize with the Madame as well. Truly, the Master is a man with many sins on his conscience. Why didn't he realize that such a trifling whim of his would give the Madame such an inferiority complex? Of course, on the inside, even the Madame is fully aware that those two don't deserve to be treated so harshly. However, the heart has reasons that reason knows not. I feel so sorry for them. I can't do anything but watch over them from the shadows. I know this is probably in her dialogue, but I'm not... I'm not reading it in her voice, but also, geez, that was... Sure. Just do that on me, why don't you? The four of us cousins were enjoying our stories, just shooting the breeze. Anyway, there were both girls and guys here. Plus, we had people over a wide spread of ages. Adult, high school, and elementary school. Even if we just talked about our own lives, The other three kept listening attentively. I think I'm finally getting used to all this. Jessica and Maria have grown more than I could have imagined in the past 6 years. To be honest, I was feeling a bit uncomfortable, but talking like this, I guess that on the inside, nothing's really changed since back then. I agree. You haven't changed a bit, even after 6 years. Even though your body's gotten gigantic, you're still a kid inside. Ooh, I'm a kid too! I'm a kid too! Well, even you aren't going to be a kid forever, are you, Maria? I mean, you're going to transform from a kid into a cute young lady, aren't you? Unless you die. Ha! And when that happens, that flat as a board chest, why do you fucking say this to a kid? No! Stop! No! I'm skipping all this dialogue. As I thought, without Butler-kun and our little quartet, this group of cousins just didn't feel complete. These 6 years have been kind of lonely. That's true. We didn't really goof off like this. Still, we did have some pretty constructive conversations that didn't involve people touching other people's boobs. Jesus fucking Christ, Butler! Stuff about preparing for our future, exam taking, finding jobs, not boob touching. Oh, I'm so sorry. I only have one personality trait. But I'm having more fun this year. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's true. I agree, this year's the most fun yet. Maria's sincere words probably spoke for everyone present. George Aniki stroked Maria's head, and she giggled like a happy kitten. Pardon me, your meal is ready. Oh wait, no, this isn't, Kumasawa, this is Shonen. Pardon me, your meal is ready. A timid knocking sound and the equally timid voice of a young woman came through the door. Jessica answered brightly. Shonen, come in. You remember Battler, right? Jessica stood up from the bed and opened the door. There stood a servant girl who must have been about our age. It's been quite some time since... Why is her voice suddenly different? It's been quite some time since we last met, Battler-sama. It's nice to see you after 6 years. It's me, Shonen. Trembling a little as she noticed me, she bowed deeply. Ah! Jessica had me surprised, but look at you, Shonen-chan. You've turned into a total beauty too, haven't you? You are too kind. Still, the food on this island must be really nutritional, huh? It's the special strain of carrots that make your boobs grow big. What? Why did I know he was gonna say that? Oh, right, it's because he has one character trait. Actually, he has two. His other character trait is hating his father. Oh! No, 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 no. No. Okay, we're out of there. We're out of there. That kid we met earlier, Kanen-kun, is her little brother. He's not exactly my little brother. And still, he loves me like a big sister. He didn't cause you any trouble, did he? He's the same as always. If only he were here. If only he were just a bit more sociable. Not if he were here. How did I read that? I apologize if he's caused you any trouble. Nah, he didn't cause any trouble at all. As a fellow man, I understand how moody you can get at that age. It's no surprise he's unsociable. Ew, I get called that all the time, too. I get called unsociable. Just like Conan. Ew! You aren't unsociable at all, Maria-sama. Ew. Wanted to be like him. Ew.
You said the meal was ready, right?
Yes.
And the meal is not her boobs, Battler. Stop drooling.
Ah, god damn it. Your meal has been fully prepared, so please allow me to guide you all the way to the mansion. Shonen bowed again formally and returned to her duty mode. We realized that if we made her stick around for any more light conversation, it would actually make it harder for her to do her job. We got up off our butts to avoid interfering with her work any further.
So, shall we go to the mansion? Everyone's probably hungry, right?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Goda-san's food. That guy was apparently a chef at this famous hotel, so he's super good at cooking. Ooh, I can't wait! Let's go, Maria! We're gonna go stuff ourselves like pigs! Oh, stuff ourselves like pigs!
No, you can't take everything that Lacune says seriously, okay? Because he's always just joking around. Okay, let's go.
Hey, but I actually do stuff myself like a pig. Oink. I mean, what? Under Shonen-chan's guidance, we headed towards the mansion. Met once again by the magnificent Rose Garden, we continued onward and did not stop for like 27 minutes this time. As the intimidating mansion of the Yushiromiya head family came into view, it had apparently been built shortly after the war, so you could feel the dignity of almost a half-century hanging about it. The building was gorgeous on the surface, but old as it was, equipment such as its AC and heating were apparently quite frail. According to Jessica, midwinter was especially tough, what with all the drafts. Haven't these people ever heard of a kotatsu? I mean, I haven't because I'm not Japanese. As we entered the entrance hall, an aged servant greeted us. Now, him I remembered. Genji-san, spelled like that in Japanese, who had been working here longer than anyone, filled the role of head servant. Battler-sama, it has been quite some time since we last met. As our eyes met, he greeted me with a calm, composed voice. His bow wasn't as graceful or refined as Goda's, but despite its simplicity, he communicated his feelings very well. Genji-san, it really has been a while. You look well. Thank you. I have been quite well. And Battler-sama, you have become a splendid young man. You even have boobs as big as Jessica now. Yeah, just give everybody big boobs. That way it's equality. You were beginning to resemble the master in his youth. I look like grandfather? Guess that means grandfather was pretty popular with the ladies when he was young. Ee-hee-hee. Stop being a pervert, you fucking weirdo. Please, come this way. Shonen-chan bowed deeply and watched us leave. After that, we headed towards the dining room under Genji-san's guidance. Genji-san, just like Kumasawa-san, stood in stark contrast to us young people who had grown beyond recognition over the last 6 years. His appearance was exactly the same as in my memories from 6 years ago. It was as though time had stopped since the last time we met. Genji-san was an extremely quiet and diligent person. He was basically grandfather's closest aide or oh. Wait, wasn't... Yeah, this was the guy from the very intro. Cool. Close aide or caregiver, and you might even call him grandfather's companion of many years. In fact, it seems he was by grandfather's side even more often than my late grandmother was. According to Jessica, grandfather trusted him more than any of his blood relatives. but I wonder how long he's served. I never got the details, but I heard something about him being here since the very beginning, when this mansion was first constructed, which would mean that he's dedicated half his life to serving here. It's easy to see why he's so trusted. As he passed through a massive hall that ended up into the second story of the mansion with no separating floor, I spotted something that hadn't existed in my memory of 6 years ago. A stone mask hanging on the mantelpiece. Is that Jessica? It was an awfully big portrait hanging right in front of the stairs that rose to the second floor. Without thinking, I stopped walking, captivated by it. Since I'd stopped so fast, Maria, who was following behind me, ran into my back. Ooh? Sorry. Hey, Jessica? Has this picture always been there? I pointed at the big, prominently displayed portrait in the hall. Everyone else stopped too. Oh, right. When you last came here, that hadn't been hung yet, had it? When was it again?
Well, if my memory doesn't fail me, it was put on display sometime around the year before last.
You are correct, sir. In April of the year before last. The master put it on display there, having previously ordered a painter to create it. Grandfather did that? So he paid to have it painted just for him, huh? The portrait suited this western mansion, and that woman in the elegant dress gave off a sense of refinement. I couldn't have guessed her age, but her sharp eyes and the strong will she seemed to possess made her look useful. She seemed somehow different from the composed middle-aged woman you often see in famous pictures. If she'd had normal black hair, I might have assumed it was a portrait of my long-deceased grandmother in her prime. However, she had beautiful blonde hair and didn't look Japanese at all. So, just who is this lady? Maria answered that simple question enthusiastically, as though proud she knew the answer. Oh, I know! It's Beatrice! Why is it Beatrice? What?
Beatrice.
She's a witch. Didn't you ever hear stories about her long ago? A witch? You mean the witch of this island? I think I already said this, but Rokenjima is a small island, only 10 kilometers in circumference. However, that's actually pretty massive, considering that only the Ushiramiya family lives here. So only the harbor and the area around the mansion were set up to be lived in. Beyond that, the island remained as untouched as when it was uninhabited. The vast and empty forest had absolutely no lights, phones, or people passing through. To understand how dangerous that is, you need to forget your common sense as a city dweller. After all, if you happen to fall down a hole in the depths of the forest and sprank your ankle... You gotta sprank your ankle, guys. No one would come save you, no matter how much you cried or screamed. Then, once the sun went down, the forest would be wrapped in complete darkness, since there were no streetlights. And since there were no signs, it'd be easy to get lost and confused, knowing your sense of direction inside that forest. Nowadays, most people see a forest as a peaceful place, but to the people of bygone eras, before the light of civilization drove out the night, forests were as geographically separated from civilization as the sea. They were oceans above ground. Fishermen who go out into the ocean are putting their lives at risk, despite their technical knowledge. In the same way, hunters who go out into the forest are in danger, despite having specialized knowledge of their own. If children were to go play in such a dangerous forest, something terrible might happen. Someone's parents must have thought so. Maybe grandmother first said it, or maybe it was grandfather himself. Or perhaps the story's been passed down on this island since ancient times. There's a terrible witch in the forest, so you must not go in. At some point, this ghost story of Rokenjima was born. Why did it do that? Okay, that was weird. This is the legend of Rokenjima's witch. That's why, when we talk about a witch on this island, we're referring to the master of that vast and savage forest. Come to think of it, when I stayed at this mansion as a little kid, during those eerie nights when the wind and rain poured on the windows, I remember being terrified by a story of the forest witch, who roamed around searching for human sacrifices. Oh, so that's why people will die. Okay. So, Beatrice, huh? I guess it could be Beatrice, I don't know. When Anaki mentioned it, I searched my memory and was sure I recalled hearing a name like that when I was little. I see. Still, I totally forgot that the witch in that legend had an elegant name like Beatrice. So, did Grandfather go out of his way to have a portrait made just because we grandchildren didn't believe the story? She's the witch from Grandfather's Delusions. Ever since he had this picture hanged, he's been having a harder and harder time telling the difference between truth and fantasy. To us, she's just a witch that exists in Grandfather's mind, but to him, she's a being that exists on this island. Exists. He says he had that painting made because the rest of us would be incapable of understanding otherwise. This whole thing's creepy as hell.
Milady, this portrait is precious to the master. I beg of you, do not say such things in front of him.
I know. Even if you didn't tell me, I'd never do something like that. Jessica glanced at the portrait with an irritated gaze before turning away.
Let's go. We're making everyone wait in the dining room.
Ew! I'm hungry! Only a small portion of this island was controlled by the Ushiromiya family. All the lawless remainder was the domain of the witch, Beatrice. You might even call her the true ruler of Rokenjima. I felt a faint revival of that unsettling sense of misfortune, which I'd felt when I learned of the tutelary god's shrine being struck by lightning, and remembered that Kumasawa-san tried to tell an ominous story about Rokenjima before Jessica stopped her. I don't know what she was planning to tell us about this island, but I do know one thing. It isn't the Ushiromiya family that rules Rokenjima. It's the witch, Beatrice. That's right. After all, this is the witch's island. Battler! Battler! Oh, you're slow! When I looked around, everyone was already heading towards the dining room. I hurriedly chased after them. We walked up to the huge double doors that led to the dining room. Genji-san knocked.
I have brought the children. They are alive, don't worry, I did not kill them. Yet. Please pardon the intrusion.
The doors were opened and we were invited inside.
Why is it always like that?
Why was it like that? It shouldn't have been that much brighter in here than before. The dining room, which looked exactly like you'd imagine a rich person's dining room to be, had a super long table that was obviously positioned with no purpose other than to make the guests conscious of their rank. Our parents were already sitting in accordance with that ordering.
You're late, brats. Hurry up and take a seat.
The old bastard pressed us to sit. The only gaps in that group of people were the spots we were supposed to sit, which only made us feel our tardiness all the more. The seat at the head of the table, called the incipient's chair, was for the most highly ranked, reserved for a grandfather. It was still empty. He probably wanted to show up last for dramatic effect. Either that or it's going to be a typical dinner murder case and he's the head of the guy dinner party is dead. Oh, and he has a knife in his back. From the perspective of someone facing the incipient's chair head-on, the seating order went from left to right, with the lower-ranking seats progressing in rows of two further away from it. So the left-hand side of the first row, closest to the incipient's chair, was where Uncle Kraus should have sat, since he was the second highest in rank. It looked like he hadn't arrived yet, so that seat was empty. Across from his chair on the right side of the first row sat the eldest daughter of the family, Aunt Eva, who was the third highest in rank. The left-hand side of the second row was for the fourth highest in rank. There sat my damned dad. Wow, he finally said something other than bastard. Wow. Rudolph, the third of the siblings. Across from him on the right side of the second row sat Aunt Rosa, the youngest sibling. At this point, you might expect their husbands and wives to come next. But nope, the left-hand seat in the third row, ranked number 6, belonged to Jessica. Opposite her was George Anarchy. I sat next to Jessica, and Maria sat across from me. Then finally, next to me on the left-hand side of the fifth row, sat Aunt Natsuhi, the 10th highest in rank. Opposite her was Uncle Hideyoshi. Next to Aunt Natsuhi, in the 6th row and the final seat on the left-hand side, sat Kairi-san. The seat opposite to Kairi-san was empty, even though silverware had been set there and everything. According to this ranking system, that spot was where Aunt Rosa's husband should be sitting. Even though he wasn't supposed to be coming, his place was made up. Normally, ranking systems of this sort give spouses equal positions as their partners, but the Yushirumi family system was unique. Maybe it's a remnant of male chauvinism. If you start with the assumption that a woman's womb is just something to be borrowed, then the children of the direct descent would come first, directly followed by the grandchildren. In other words, spouses have no blood ties and are therefore placed at the end of the line. It's terrible, but by this system, my grandmother would be ranked even lower than me, if she were still alive. In their youth, they obey their father. After they get married, their husband. After aging, their children. There's the old saying, women have no home in any realm. Man. So it turns out it was actually freaking familial misogyny. Generational misogyny that caused this. Long ago, when I was still incapable of figuring all this out, I thought it was so great that we could all chat in our little groups. Adult siblings with adult siblings and cousins with cousins. However, now that I can re-examine the seating order after growing up, it stirs up some very complicated feelings in me. Aunt Natsuhi, who was married to the eldest son, and was the de facto number 2 in managing this family, sat to my right, which meant that she was 2 steps lower than me in the ranking order. It's hard to imagine what might be going on inside her heart. That's why I made a small apologetic gesture towards her before sitting down. How nice to see you, Battler-kun. You've grown up quite tall, haven't you? Yep. 6 long years of eating well, sampling various cuisines, and deriving sustenance from Mother Earth's bountiful gifts. Hard work, but I pulled through. Growing up just like a boy, I see. How tall are you now? I guess about 180 centimeters. But Aunt Nancy, that's where you're supposed to say, heck, sounds like all you did was eat. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. After a short pause, she did laugh with me, but it seemed she couldn't quite figure out what she was supposed to be laughing at. This woman is Aunt Natsuhi. Natsuhi. Or not. Yeah, that looks like the more complicated one, so that's probably Natsu. Or this could be Tsuhi. I don't know. Kanji is confusing and I hate it. She's the wife of the eldest son of the family, meaning she's my father's older brother's wife. Is it simpler if I just call her Jessica's mother? It feels bad to say it like this, but while I didn't exactly dislike her, I didn't particularly like her either. She hardly ever spoke with us kids, and all my memories of her involve her talking to the adults about complicated things, with a scary look on her face. In fact, since we hardly ever exchange words, I spent a long time trying to figure out how I should approach her, though my efforts seemed to have ended in failure. The silverware sat neatly on the table, but the meal itself hadn't been brought in yet. As a general rule, you couldn't start a meal until the person sitting at the head of the table arrived. So, as long as grandfather didn't come, lunch would be put on hold indefinitely. Not even the appetizers would arrive. Simply put, the silence in this room was caused by our parents enduring their hunger while they waited for grandfather to arrive. However, the grandfather from my memories would always show up on time to meals like this. He was the kind of person who would never be so late that it kept everyone waiting, especially after the entire group had arrived. Grandfather's pretty late. As far as I can remember, he was always strict about time. Well, that might have been true 6 years ago, but it hasn't been that way lately. In fact, he's off in his own little world so often that he doesn't even show up at family meals. Still, I figured he'd at least come down today. Then again, I feel a lot more relaxed and happy without him. Jessica! When her mother scolded her, Jessica stuck her tongue out and looked away. No way around it. Might as well wait until our host arrives. When I glanced at the clock, I saw that it was almost 12:20. And then my eyelids closed, and I fell asleep right there. And suddenly, I astral projected into his house. Hello! Hello there. Hello there. Glad you can make it to the stream. Yum, antimatter, I'm not sure. I guess I could call you Yum. Yeah. We're just, currently here at the moment. With Ushiramiya Kinzo. And then Kinzo in kanji, because of course it's in kanji. It's always in kanji. It might be a bit choppy. No, it looks like it's doing fine for my stream. So yeah, maybe it is your mobile phone. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Yeah. Ushiramiya Kinzo, the aged family head of the Ushiramiya head family. This man could be seen in his study. He could be, I mean, it's not like anybody's peering in there right now unless they're astral projecting. The clock had already passed noon, but he didn't even attempt to rise from his seat. With his spectacles on, he built up a growing pile of books with elaborate bindings, which he then read intently. He couldn't really say that he was having too much fun to stop. Rather, he filled the room with a sense of impatience, or perhaps a sense of impending danger, as though every second wasted was a tragedy. In this sealed room, a dense dust danced through the air, which was thick with the stench of chemicals that exuded a mix of suspicious odors. Those odors were somehow sweet and heavy. If anyone with a normal nose came in here, the first thing they'd do would be open a window and ventilate this room. The knocking against the study door had been going on for a while. A voice calling "Father" sometimes mingled with the knocks. As Kinzo heaved a deep sigh, he snapped shut the old book in his hands and slammed it on the table. Then he yelled at Kraus, who was still knocking on the door. "Silence! Enough with that racket, you fool! Who told you the door would be opened if you knocked? I'll crucify the imbecile! Do you wish to suffer the same fate?" No, I knew you were, I know you meant on YouTube. I don't even know what Kraus looks like. Father, this is the day of the family conference, which happens only once a year, is it not? Everyone's gathered down below. Please come out. Kraus called out to his father through the door. Kinzo always shut himself up in the study, hating it when nearly anyone, even his family, entered the room. For that reason, Kraus had no choice but to call on him from the corridor like this. Molest me not! This is not molestation. Just who is this everyone of which you speak? Do you mean the fools trying to drag me out of here? Then kill them all! Tear them apart, use their bodies for firewood, and feed them into the witch's hearth! Put a pot in that hearth to boil the wormwood! Force the imbeciles who dare try to lure me out of here to drink the broth of the apocalypse! I will soak their dregs in liquor! Ah, where is Genji? Call for Genji! Have my demonic absinthe prepared! The whispering of the green fairy reaches me no longer! Ah, where is... What? Voice crack, whoops. Where is Genji? Bring him here! On the other side of the door, Kraus, Nanjo, and who the hell is Nanjo? Genji kept waiting for the master of the house, who stubbornly refused to come out. I don't even... Okay. Jesus Christ. Whoop. He looks like Frank saw it, kinda. Looks like he hates me to the core. My voice doesn't reach him anymore. Kraus shrugged as though saying, "It's no use," and smiled bitterly. From the beginning, he hadn't really expected his father to respond to his calls. However, since it was the duty of the eldest son, he had tried it as a formality. Oh, I'm guessing this is Nanjo. Because this is Kraus, we already have seen Genju. So this has to be Nanjo. Okay. Kinzo-san, your sons, daughters, and grandchildren have come to see you, have they not? Could you just let them see your face, if only for a short while? Shut up! Be silent! You dare to admonish me, Nanjo! I never told anyone to get you. I told them to get Genji! Now call for him immediately! Time is short and the apostles are already raising their trumpets, so why can't you foolish sheep understand? Kinzo slammed an old heavy book against the table over and over. That racket clearly expressed his great displeasure. Kinzo put his spectacles down and flew up from his chair. He's floating through the air with his anger. He spread his arms wide open as if to sing to a packed opera house, as if appealing to someone, and yelled, "Why? Why is there always something in my way? I would throw it all away. I would offer up everything, and there is only one thing I ask in repayment. Oh, Beatrice, if I could see your smile but one more time, I would plunder the smiles of the earth and offer them all up to you." Beatrice is a real person, I'm guessing. Either that or he's Beatrice is probably his actual wife, the one that birthed everybody, and then she died, and then something, she became the witch of the island. And also, she's English, and that's why she doesn't look Japanese in the portrait, and that's why everybody has English names like Kraus, and Eva, and Rosa, and Maria. Well, Maria could be in Japanese, I guess. But yeah, and Battler's not really an English name either, but That's my prediction for how this is going. I'm pretty sure he also mentioned Beatrice in the opening, too. So, yeah. And that's why the portrait is super good for him. I'm not entirely sure why Beatrice became a witch, of all things. Maybe she was into the supernatural? I don't know. But yeah, that's how that's gonna go for this little storyline anyway. Oh, commanders of the legions of locusts, reap the smiles of the earth. Everything is filthy. Everything is irksome. Why must I suffer this impediment on this most precious of days? Call for Genji! I have no idea what he's yelling about. He probably lost his mind by now.
Crow-san, isn't it a bit harsh to say such a thing of your own father?
My father is already dead. There's nothing here but a phantom of what father once was. At any rate, as long as he has no intention of coming out, there's nothing we can do.
Kinzo-san.
Choking coughs continued to pour from the study. I'm going back downstairs. It would be a waste to let the fruits of Goda's prized cooking talent get any colder. It's one of the few things our relatives can look forward to when they come to this house. Kraus spun around. He looked at his watch, mumbling and acting as though he had wasted time doing something he knew would be in vain. Genji-san, father is calling for you. Keep him company. Certainly. Dr. Nanjo, let's go eat. If we stay here any longer, this sweet stench will ruin our sense of taste. Without waiting for Nanjo, Kraus went downstairs. Genji urged Nanjo to go and eat. Nanjo glanced between the study door and Kraus's back as the latter disappeared down the stairs, then let out a deep sigh. Sorry, Genji-san, but please allow me to leave this in your hands. Yes, please leave it to me. Do what you can to avoid giving him alcohol. That's a habit that's far too difficult to break. Is Genji not here yet? Who dares keep Genji from coming? Where's Genji? Call for Genji! Please, allow me to handle the situation here. Very well. Forgive me. Nanjo bowed slightly and descended the stairs. Genji watched him leave, then knocked on the study door. Master, it is Genji. Genji? Why have you kept me waiting so long? You're alone, I trust? Correct. I am alone. Kinzo returned to his seat in the study and pressed an old-fashioned switch on the table. After a small delay, the heavy sound of the door unlocking could be heard. Kinzo was convinced that his family wanted to make a mess of his study. Or perhaps someone had at once opened the window for some air and ended up scattering things that, to him, were important research materials, leaving him in a terrible mood. Kinzo had outfitted his room with a formidable lock, preventing anyone from entering without his permission, and thereby sealing himself in a jail of his own making. Genji, whom he trusted the most, was relatively free to enter the room, but even that didn't always hold. If Kinzo was in a bad mood, even Genji wouldn't be able to enter. Anyone else would be limited to holding a conversation through the door, unable even to see Kinzo's face. And most of the time, what they got could hardly be... I cannot speak words. However, this didn't trouble the rest of the family much. After all, it just wasn't worth the effort to disturb this aging family head, who was impossible to please and always stayed shut away, immersed in his research. Taking advantage of his refusal to leave this room, they supported his isolation, putting his care entirely into the hands of the servants. He's playing Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Whoa! Genji, my usual. I'm busy. Yes, sir. Genji headed to a corner of the study. There, suspicious-looking bottles boasting venomous colors were on display. They were actually liquor, but considering the shady atmosphere of this room, one might easily suspect them of being some ghastly poison. Inside the study, the mysterious collection of books gathered by Kinzo had grown into a mountain. They were bizarre, ancient, or banned books, all of them either forbidden, cursed, or sealed. But if you tried to call them old books, Kinzo would fly into a rage and say, "Call them grimoires!" There were also many mysterious objects that presumably held some meaning with regard to black magic, like candles suspiciously melted and molded into strange shapes. The constellations, drawn on a certain celestial globe, contained quite a few shapes that would draw puzzled looks from anyone familiar with today's night sky. The carelessly strewn about books contained many illustrations, all of them of a religious or mysterious nature, including some depicting demonically grotesque subjects or bizarre diagrams of various magic circles. And above all, a sweet poisonous smell filled the room, profoundly assaulting the eyes and noses of those who entered for the first time. Eventually, it must surely make a person go numb and lose their grip on reality. Inside that study, Genji prepared Kinzo's usual drink with a well-trained hand. No one would even drink of drinking such an ominous dark green liquid in that complex and ornate glass, unless someone first told them it was alcohol. He poured a little into the glass. Then, he placed a cube of sugar in a strangely shaped spoon, and poured water from a pitcher over it. Strangely, when the transparent water was poured, the dark green liquid turned a cloudy white. It was a strange optical illusion, as though the water had caused a chemical reaction and made the drink become even more unrecognizable as liquor. Then Genji added original flavors Kinzo loved, fine-tuning its taste. There was no recipe. Its success was measured only by Kinzo's mood swings when he drank it, and it had taken Genji many decades to learn how to do it right. Genji placed the glass on a tray and walked over to Kinzo. By this time, Kinzo was gazing out the window. "Here, master." "Thank you." Kinzo had regained his composure and was now unrecognizable as the shouting, screaming, yelling man from a few moments ago. Looking at this man from behind as he tilted his glass and gazed down at the scenery beyond a window, he projected a sense of dignity and intelligence. To allow Kinzo to set his glass down at any time, Genji motionlessly waited behind Kinzo and to his left, as though he were a living sideboard. Then, without averting his eyes from the window, Kinzo held out his glass. There was only a mouthful remaining. It was not a gesture intended to set it upon the tray, but a motion to hand the glass over to Genji. "Drink, my friend." "Your words are too kind for me." "No need for ceremony between us. Drink, my friend." "Thank you." Genji respectfully received the glass and inclined it a little to taste its contents. After that, he gulped it down. "I attempted to imitate your concoction, but no matter how I try, it cannot replicate the taste. The way you make it is pure relish." "Thank you very much. It is the fruit of your guidance, master." Kinzo smiled at his loyal subject, who refused to put aside rank even when asked to. However, he was not making fun of him. His smile was relaxed, as though chuckling at a close friend's old unshakable habit. "We have grown old together. I stopped counting the years long ago." "It's entirely thanks to you, master, that I have been able to live like this until today." Kinzo gave a faint smile, as if to say he didn't need flattery. Until now, you have served me exceedingly well. My sons call me eccentric. The servants that were once many have all quit in fear of me. Only you serve me even now." "Your words are more than I deserve." "My life will not last much longer. My sons are vultures, lazily waiting for my inheritance to fall into their hands." "Kraus is a fool who squanders money like water, who throws away 2 gold coins to obtain 1, and then he has the gall to claim that he's earned money. Eva is a slave to money who thinks of me as a mere chicken. When I die, she plans to use my bones to make a broth. That dunce Rudolph just wants to fool around with women. Rosa bore the baby of a man who came from nowhere and about whom we know nothing. Jessica is incompetent and uneducated. George has none of what it takes to be a man. Battler is a fool who threw away the honor of the Ushiramiya family. And Maria is obscene to the eye." Why is the Musharumi of blood so incompetent? Is there no one worthy to inherit the glory I built? Ah, of course. I know. This is part of Beatrice's curse. I know it. You golden witch, are you trying to take revenge against me in this way? If you want to hate me, then do so. If you want to run away, then run. I won't let you go. I won't let you go, won't let you go, won't let you go. You belong to me. You must always be in my arms. For all my life. You must stay in my birdcage for all eternity, whispering only to me. Beatrice, why won't you smile back at me? Ooh, ooh, Beatrice. After howling, Kinzo choked once again. Genji set the tray and glass down and rubbed his master's back. Genji's facial expression did not change. It was always like this. Thank you, my friend. When his seemingly deranged fit subsided, Kinzo regained his composure once again. It was like seeing two different people, a wild Kinzo and a composed Kinzo, living together inside one body. And so, I have decided. I cannot bear to spend my dimmed remaining years procrastinating like this. If I have one final coin to bet, then I choose to abandon it to the whims of the demon's roulette. The power of magic is always determined by the risk of the gamble. Like visiting a shrine at the hour of the ox in ancient Japanese sorcery to nail a cursed doll to a tree. Magical power is produced specifically because of that risk that it will be seen within the 7 days the curse takes. The greater the risk, the stronger the magic power will be. Many miracles that happened in myths might be called the crystallization of shocking magic power, with a low probability of occurrence and astronomical risk. That Moses parted the waters of the sea was not a miracle of God. The risk of that desperate situation, cornered by the soldiers on the Red Sea shores, weighed upon the scales of slaughter and gave birth to that miraculous magic power. If the same thing occurred again on the same scale, the sea would surely fail to part. After all, Moses was able to magnificently summon a miracle engraved on but one of the countless, innumerable results on the roulette of those with power. This is the force that can triumph over astronomical odds. Indeed, good fortune that can grasp miracles is magic power itself. To obtain this mighty power, one must face the risk of despair. Those who possess no magical power may call that desperation rather than a bet. However, people who truly do possess magic power can grasp hold of that miracle, and make the enigma come into being. And if that power exists within me, I'll seize that miracle. I'll have a chance at making the wish I devoted my life towards come true. Kinzo looked up to the sky outside the window. He spread his arms as if appealing to someone up in the skies. If only I were capable of grasping that miracle. Beatrice, show me your lovely smile once more. No matter how much time passes, your face does not vanish. I just want to see your smile. That is all. I'll return everything you granted me. I'll return all the glory I've gained since that day. I don't need fortune, prestige, or gold. I'll return everything you gave me. I just want to see your smile. I beg you, Beatrice. His nonsensical yells became a scream, and then a wail. Kinzo slumped to the floor, tearing at it with both hands. Genji had no choice but to wordlessly watch over his master's lamentations. Oh, gee, Battler, you really were astral projecting there. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here. Actually, first I need to read. Ushirimiya Kinzo, the aged head of the Ushirimiya family. Even though it has already been announced that he has just a few months to live, he is brimming with energy. Though he amassed a vast fortune in the past, he never made any announcements regarding the inheritance, which worries his children. He is strongly influenced by the West and is a rabid fan of the occult. His study is packed with mysterious grimoires. Ushirimiya Natsui, Krause's wife. She manages the household of the Ushirimiya head family in place of her husband, who takes little interest in such matters. She was charged of all preparations and arrangements for this family conference. She possesses a strong sense of responsibility and a great deal of pride. However, neither her husband nor his siblings understand her very well, so her position is far from enviable. Servant Shannon, a young but experienced servant. She's normally calm and performs her job efficiently, but she messes up when she gets nervous. Furthermore, Shannon is nothing more than a pseudonym that she uses when on duty, not even her real name. Servant Genji, the leader of the servants who work for the Ushirimiya family. He has served Kinzo longer than any other and is the person most trusted by that old man. Since he serves Kinzo directly, Krause and Natsui think of him as being a spy for Kinzo. And then we have Nanjo, who would be here, and Krause, who would be here. So yeah, goodbye. Why am I still live? I thought it would have stopped. That's weird. Well, I mean, I guess since we're here. Hi. I guess technically I'm still live, so I can talk. I don't exactly know why, because I don't think action works like this. But I mean, hi. Yeah, I'm enjoying Umineko kinda. I don't really like Battler. Battler's not that great. He has like a 2 character traits. That's hating his dad and misogyny, specifically towards boobs. So I'm not a huge fan of Battler. I also noticed like this game hasn't really been localized on Steam. Like it's been translated, but like pretty much everything has been like word for word well, not word for word. Well, I mean that's kind of how it is for any protagonist, honestly. But yeah, game hasn't been like it's been translated, but like kind of directly. There might have been some like localization things, but like all of the onomatopoeia and honorifics, they even like keep how to spell them, how to spell their names in kanji for some reason, which I'm not entirely sure why. But and it's also so weird, like hearing names like Rosa and Maria and Kyrie be called weird names because that's just normal names in English. But yeah, I've been enjoying the thing so far. The backgrounds, yeah, the backgrounds look really good. Like, uh, I don't know, maybe I'm just like a sucker for the weird, like kind of dreamy. Like this is what it would look like if they were in a dream kind of filter over the backgrounds. But like I really enjoy the style. I know there's mods for uh like CGs and like animated backgrounds and voice acting. I don't really care for the voice acting that much because I'm already voice acting everybody. I guess it would help a little with like voice, but also I enjoy doing this even if I'm not a good voice actor. uh and yeah, the only thing I'm missing is like the better models and more CGs. But like I'm fine without them. This is how the game is packaged. I'm also not entirely too sure on if they're like good mods or not. Like I don't know. It's weird. Uh I think I'd need to be like more in the Umineko fandom. Ooh, jeez. To like know how that works. But I also don't really want to be in the Umineko fandom until I finish the game. Because I don't want all the spoilers. All I know, they're stuck on the island and people die. And I mostly know this because uh like I hear it sometimes brought up when people ask for games similar to like Danganronpa and Zero Escape, which I'm a fan of. Yeah, you could I can't really show the CGs on stream because I'm using Action and I don't know, maybe Action does have like different things, custom URL sources. I could like have a thing open for that. But yeah, I did hear this game sometimes when hearing that. Like other games I've heard are similar. AI the Somnium Files. I've heard about uh what else? Well, Ace Attorney, I guess, obviously, but like that's like the big obvious name on it. What else have I heard of? There was oh yeah, there was that one that you said that was this apparently is like a thing. Like I'm trying to remember what you said in the comment. Like the other comment about this being like a sequel, but not really. I can't really remember any other games. I don't know why Yumi Neko stood out to me. I'm gonna just search games like Zero Escape. Steins Gate, okay. What else? Somebody said Life is Strange. Somebody posted. Somebody posted the Agatha Christie book. Okay. Sure. Uh. Quantum suicide. This was posted 6 years ago. Is this? I'm not even sure if this is. Oh, last updated January 11th, 2022. Cool. So I'm guessing this still hasn't quite gotten out yet. Just gonna search up. No, I don't want. I don't want quantum suicide and immortality. I want the game. Oh, it is out, actually. Released 2 years, like about 2 years ago. That's cool. Yeah, Higurashi was the one you talked about. I've heard of that too. Like before you said it. Somebody says Infinity series, which, yeah, okay. Uh, yeah, just a few games. I don't really recognize a lot of them. Ghost Trick, yeah. But yeah, Umineko. I'm not really sure why it stood out to me, but yeah, I've met. Well, I mean, there might be like some minor characters that aren't in the thing, but I did like see in the system there were only like two blank slots left, which I think are going to be Nanjo and Kraus because they weren't there. But yeah, any thoughts on who will die? Probably Kinzo. Like that feels like a safe bet. uh, I think it's possible that George will die. Like, because Battler looks up to him and all, and oops, you killed the guy that the main character looks up to. Oh no, now he's like angsting all over the place. Oh, just kind of like that, because that's kind of a trope. Uh, I can't really think of who else, but there's probably going to be a few deaths. Oh, and also for your other question, the killer thing, uh, to 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 do the meme, the butler did it. It's gonna be Genji. He kills everybody. Like there was like a thing, one like dialogue piece where it talks about like how Genji is so trusted. Clearly, it's setting up for the ultimate reveal that he was the murderer all along. He was Jason Voorhees. No. No, I'm just joking around with that. I don't think Genji will be like a main antagonist. He might be an antagonist, but I don't think he's going to be like a main like a major one. For Goda and Kanan, Goda's gonna just die. He's gonna implode. It's just gonna, yeah. Goda can't be the killer because Goda's definitely dying. And Kanan, I feel Kanan might survive, I think. Either Kanan or Shannon. One of those two will survive. That's my predictions. I'm not really sure about, like, anybody else. I think Battler will no. But yeah, it'll be interesting, like, having somebody who knows Umineko. Because there's probably not that many people out there who know Umineko. So yeah, it's gonna be like an interesting thing for you. Like hearing all my predictions, that whole thing earlier. I'm not sure if you heard it, but basically I had this big prediction that Beatrice is gonna be revealed to be an actual real person from like England or wherever, and is Kinzo's wife, who died, but is the mother of Kraus and like Kraus and Rosa and Eva, and I don't even remember what Rudolph. That's his name. The dad. Like she's the mother of them, but she died like a while ago, and nobody else remembers her, I guess, or maybe they just didn't really know their mother, because like maybe she was like super sick. And so yeah, Beatrice is like an actual person. I'm not really sure how they get to the witch part. Like, but yeah, she's definitely gonna be a real person. But yeah, it's interesting because I'm going into this completely blind, and unlike with Zero Escape, where my curiosity got the better of me, and I wanted to know more about the Ninth Man, and then accidentally spoiled myself on the entire plot twist of the game. Whoops. No, it's fine. I'm not making that mistake for Umineko. And I'm not going to do that for, I don't even remember which one it is. Virtue's Last Reward, that's the second one. I didn't stream 999, but yeah. Probably for the best that I didn't stream 999, because, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to try to stave off my curiosity in that regard. Okay. Well, I guess I didn't really spoil too much. Like now you know that there is an importance placed on the ninth man, but you could probably figured that out yourself. But yeah, 999 is a pretty good game. This is shaping up to be a pretty decent game with a good story and sometimes questionable writing. I've already I really hope we don't get more close-up shots of Shannon. I did not read any of the dialogue during that part. Like, any at all. Spoilers for Zero Escape. It's a game. Ha 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 ha. You got spoiled. You probably covered your ears too, I just at that part. But don't worry, I was just joking with that one. It's fine. uh, well, I mean, I could probably have like a content warning on the stream itself, but like I myself, I don't really I don't know. I don't know. All of the scenes of like Battler talking about boobs and stuff, I do not like that at all. But that's just kind of a constant. Like his first instinct when meeting like Jessica was to grab her boobs. He's talking to Maria about grabbing her boobs when she grows up. And then like as soon as Shannon came into the room, yeah. Like I that part is like super uncomfortable. I'm glad that like you said the game treats it as a serious matter instead of like fan service and comedy. But also, I would like it much more if the main character wasn't doing it. It's not even optional like the stuff in Danganronpa. Like, at least Danganronpa hides its fan service behind things like items called man's nut. Like, bonus scenes for people, I guess. So, like, while it is in the game, it doesn't have anything to do with the plot. Except for Mekon, but that's the different thing. And also everything. Yeah, no. Everything to do with Toko is also kind of weird, but whatever. Oh, and Teru probably had like the worst introduction of any character ever in the history of the universe. Is there anything I'm hoping from this game? Platformer segment, chick. I'm just kidding. I'm kind of hoping for like a maybe like post game content, kind of like Danganronpa does it. Maybe, or just like additional stuff that unlocks after like here's a story, like here's a little short story where Battler's in high school. And I don't know, he grabs the boobs of one of the teachers, of course, because he's Battler. And gets sent to jail for sexual assault. And we never see him again. That's a great story. I think it should be the main story, actually. But yeah, this is a nice thing. I hope you come around for streams. I can't really promise that the streams are gonna be consistent because like the last time I streamed was like 2 weeks ago. Prison escape room. Yeah, it's gets rearrested for escaping prison. It just becomes the escapists, like that game. When did Umineko even come out? The original seems to be around 2007, but like the new ones, like the question arcs and stuff, was 2017. Oh yeah, it also has like weird art compared to the original stuff. Like, the stuff I'm used to now. Um, I'll see if I can, I wonder if this'll work. This'll do anything. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Wait, no, do I, Yeah, no, the overlay is not working. I'm not sure what's exactly going on with that, but it's not showing up on the stream, so I'm guessing the overlay has to like be there at the start and not added afterwards. Weird. Action is so weird, but I only use it because I can't use OBS at all. Doesn't like me. Yeah, geez, this the art kind of looks like a teenager trying to draw like anime, on DeviantArt. That's what that looks like. It looks like DeviantArt anime style. Maybe that's why everybody has boobs the size of their frickin' heads. Because it's DeviantArt. But yeah, oh, I see. It's because the the boobs are now full of steam. That's why they're bigger. They've got inflated, like with a pump, an air pump. But yeah, do you have any questions for me specifically? Because I guess this is now just talking. I don't know. Like stuff other than Umineko stuff. John keeps opening GTFO. Are you gonna just play it, or are you gonna just open it a bajillion times? Steam just keeps giving me a notification that one of my friends is playing GTFO now. Yeah. What times do I usually stream? Well, normally I do stream like later in the day for me. I'm in CST, so like I usually start streaming at like 7 or 8 p.m. CST. But I started streaming earlier today, just so that you could catch it, because I did reply to you. I just keep going until my voice got too tired, or you joined. And you joined, and then my voice got tired. So it was both. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. I really should have a schedule, but I don't. And that's great. I guess it's a bit better if I don't have a schedule because, like I said earlier, I use Action instead of like an actual streaming service like OBS or Streamlabs because I don't really understand how to work those. I have not gotten like any good luck with OBS. What do I do during the day? Well, I finished like main schooling, but I still go to school for job training. I currently don't have a job. Although, like, now that school's done, I can't really do either. Well, let me just change this. Nah, I'm not gonna change the stream title to stuff. Well, it's like I haven't started the job training yet because it's gonna start next school year. But I assume it's just gonna be like a general stuff, like nothing too specific, like agriculture or like woodwork or mechanics and stuff, but more so like other stuff. I don't know. Actuarial. What even is that? Oh, so like insurance stuff. Okay. Well, no, it's gonna be like general things. I think because like if I'm doing it for a specific field, I'm probably gonna have to like be trained for a while, like 1 or 2 years at the very minimum. But I would like a job as soon as possible. So it's probably just going to be like a I don't exactly know how it's going to work. But yeah, I don't really have like a big plan for the future for like a certain kind of work. So that's why yeah. Oh, it's not a program. It's a. I guess it's not like training. It gets coaching. I don't know, but it's like uh, it's not a program. So that might be why you can't think of it. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Maybe something about the extra tags I have on Twitch. Yeah. Pride Month is just about ending, though, but that's okay. Every day is Pride Month. The whole month in one day. This isn't a this isn't a statement. It's just I have no sense of time. Yeah, I am asexual, and for the further thing, I am a fox. I would like pull up a picture and start drawing or whatever, but I can't at the moment because it's action and not OBS. If it was OBS, I could probably do it if I knew how. But yeah, there's not really any good way of promoting. You just kind of have to. Oh no, I don't have it online. I think. I don't know. I think it. I could have a like a Discord thing, but whatever. Like a Discord image file, but oh yeah, my Twitter thing is does use my old one. The new one uh is literally just my current Twitch name. Solu Kitson. I do need to change that though. So thank you for reminding me that I need to do that. Here is that. Uh Here we go. Channel. Edit. There we go. It should be good now. But yeah, I hope to see you again whenever I stream. And yeah, uh, I don't really got much to chat about anymore. So I'm gonna end the stream. Oh, my day was fine, but yeah. See you around, partner. Nice weather we're having. Yeah. Bye.